Okay, I think we have enough people to start. So, welcome everyone. Hello again. This is our second Decentraland All Hands community session. And as many as you know, these sessions have been designed to provide more comprehensive insights and foster deeper connections and synergy between the foundation and the community. And as many of you know, also, this session is structured and broken up into three different segments, starting with a foundation top line update, then followed by the product update, and closing with an AMA section, as we did uh, with the old format for the AMA sessions. So if you have not gotten the chance to submit your questions for the AMS section, you can still do it. I'm going to share the slide link in the chat right now. And again, you're all welcome to submit your questions throughout this event. Just a reminder of this specific format. The cadence of these sessions are every 7 weeks. And if you have any other questions in between those sessions, you can find support via chat, email, Canny, the RFIs, and the RFIs for in-depth questionnaires. So I'm going to share also a past Twitter thread that we posted a couple of weeks ago, which outlines all of this that I mentioned. And with all that said, again, welcome everyone. Thanks for joining. And without further ado, let's dive into the foundation update. So I'll pass it to the foundation members.
Awesome. Hi, everyone. I'm Kim. If we haven't met yet, I'm the head of marketing for the foundation. I wanted to share a few key updates from this past quarter. So as many of you know, we had an emote campaign that ran from August to September. And we're really excited to share some of the results with it. You all brought a lot of creativity, enthusiasm, eagerness to learn. And we could see that in the results. The creating emotes docs views increased 49% in August and 148% in September. So kudos to all of you that are out there learning how to upskill your emote creation. I know we saw 19 people submit for our contest, so we're really excited to see everyone testing out something new. Throughout that campaign, we also saw that September and August are now the #1 and #2 highest months for the secondary sales of emotes. So shout out to all of you emote creators and having some really amazing opportunities there on the marketplace for the community to really express themselves. I think the expectation is that people were learning a lot during August and September, and then that rolled perfectly into the Emotes 2.0 release, which the team will talk about a little bit more. But I think that allowed for that base education to add a more broad scale for everyone. And we were really excited to see all of the new creators. I believe we had 12 new creators submit for the contest. So huge increase, and excited to see everyone trying out their new skills. Also, this is on the back end. So many of you that are in the Decentraland community won't see it, but we have a new onboarding welcome flow that has been set up for email subscribers. So we're really trying to introduce people to Decentraland over 30 days. And it's a consistent flow that every 2 days, they kind of learn something new throughout their journey. So this is a really great way to easily onboard someone directly through email, which is a direct touch. So they're opting into all of this information. So that went live just a few weeks ago. So we're excited to keep helping everyone learn about Decentraland in the best way possible and help with that education and retention portion. Save the dates. We have some exciting stuff coming up. Tomorrow is our Emotes 2.0 Spin and Win event. We'll put the link in here as well. But come on by to Genesis Plaza. The team created an amazing wheel that you can come up and spin and win one of the new 2.0 emotes that the team has made. So we're excited to get those in everyone's hands during the event tomorrow. The AI World Fair is coming up October 25th through 27th. There are a lot of really amazing AI partners that will be joining, like Sophia the Robots, Sophiaverse will be featured, and amazing new tech partners as well. So come on by and learn about what's possible in the world of AI. Halloween quests, Dapcraft will be building those out, and those kick off October 27th. They'll have a new quest every day. And then they also are building in some really cool AI quests. So we're excited to see that come to fruition this year, and also just walk around the Halloween village. It's a good spooky time. Decentraland Music Festival will be kicking off November 16th. We just announced on Twitter yesterday, I believe it was, the 8 builders. We increased it to 5. So thank you to everyone for all of the submissions across the creators and the artists. I think we had about 170 submissions. So really excited to see the community interested in getting involved, being showcased. And so more to come on the artist side, but the builders have been announced as of yesterday. And then monthly themes. So as you all know, we released a blog about the monthly themes we'll be doing. This is something new for the end of 2023 and then all of 2024, where we're putting a specific industry theme so that people could come together and really celebrate around a particular topic and build a particular topic. So the next one that we're thinking of for 2023 that we're starting to build for now is wellness. So if you're thinking about a wellness activation, let us know. There are a ton of variety, obviously, fashion, entertainment, food and beverage. So that is all on the blog. And if you're interested in getting involved, there is instructions on how to do that there. Marketing and you. So we're really focused on this next few months on more ways we can prepare and involve the community and spread the marketing of Decentraland kind of far and wide beyond just the 3-person team here at the foundation. So as many of you know, we have the ambassador program that was approved via a DAO grant, and that's split between the foundation and the DAO. The first part of that was hiring a program coordinator. We had some great candidates from the community, so thank you to everyone for showing your interest. I'm really excited to share that Kanessa has been hired in a part-time role with the foundation to lead the ambassador program V1. So this is a good way for us to get started. Obviously, at this point, I'm assuming all of you know Kanessa and how much work she's done to help onboard new people into the community and really spread the marketing and message of Decentraland. So we're very excited for her to get started as of today. And then more to come on the ambassador program. There is currently that application live in the DAO and specific next steps coming soon. We're also hosting a Marketing 101 presentation. I know this has come up from a few different members of the community of how can we share our marketing expertise with all of you to then market what you're building in Decentraland. So this is not about Decentraland branding marketing. This one in particular is all about how can we teach you and share marketing knowledge so that you can all market your businesses and your expertises in Decentraland. So I'll be putting on that presentation. It's November 30th at 3 p.m. The DAO team has made an event for it in the Discord, but really excited to share cross learnings, give some tips and tricks as you are all building such amazing stuff in the metaverse. And we want to help you spread the word of what you're doing as a creator. And then the third thing being that DCL branding workshop, which we are scheduling for December. So many people have also asked how could they be involved in how Decentraland is being marketed across the board. So we'll make that a collaborative session with the community and the foundation team. So if you are interested in that, just be on the lookout for December. I'll work to make sure the DAO team has the information so we could also put it in the Discord as well. So that's the main marketing updates for this meeting. If you have any questions, feel free to add them to the Slido. And I'm going to present it to Yamel for a special announcement.
Thank you, Kim. Yamel here. Can we move to the next slide, please? So we have a special announcement to make today. We are going to be hosting the first Decentraland conference next year in May. Next slide, please. So it will be in real life meeting in Argentina. It will be a 3-day event, fully packed of activities with presentation, workshops, and yeah, and the idea is to have the first time to have an official gathering all together. So we will be releasing pretty soon a blog post with the details of the event and the things that the foundation will be covering and the expenses that the participants will be covering. And also we will be launching an application form. So it's not that kind of conference in which you just pay and go. We want to be something more intimate. So there will be an application process and we will select the participants. Yeah, super excited to see that happening in May next year. And moving forward, I pass the mic to Nico.
Thank you, Yamel. Hello, everyone. I'm Nico from the product team, and today I'm going to present some of the last product updates and the last releases from the past weeks, and also sharing some alpha for the things that we are doing. Today, I'm not presenting alone. I'm going to be presenting together with Alvaro and Nico, also from the product team. So you already know them by now, the experts in the product team. So let's get right into it. Let's start with status of the things that we ship. If you remember, on the past All Hands, I shared that we are now working into cycles of between 7 and 8 weeks. So that's the cadence that we've been having for the past time, and it's helping us ship quite a lot. So super proud for the team, and I hope you are enjoying these new features. So let's get into the details and see what we were releasing on the past days. Alvaro, all yours.
Hello, everybody. So as you know, a week and a half ago, we released Emotes 2.0. I'm quite excited about this because it was the right opportunity to expand what we can do today with emotes. We wanted, in this case, to allow to have props and sound. So it was the best bet to improve the creativity of the creators. So today you will be able to do stuff like, I don't know, riding a mechanical bull, or dress yourself in a Iron Man suit, or be dancing with an emote with a disco ball, stuff like that. So I think this is pretty exciting for creators, and I'm looking forward to see what people is going to create with these tools. So what we had done is to add another armature that you can attach different geometry, as it was a wearable. And we have increased a little bit the number of triangles that you can have in there, so you can have more way of expression. And I'm going to show you a few of the emotes that are going to be available right now as a base wearables in the backpack, and others that are going to be shared in the spin and wheel event that we're going to have tomorrow. So yeah, let's see that. Oh, we don't have sound. Well, some of them are not present, and you will find out tomorrow, hopefully. So yeah, I'm gonna guide you a little bit through how we can create an emote. I don't know why I cannot move the slide. Okay, so here you can go to Blender, as you can create an emote as you do right now. So additionally, you will be able to create this armature prop that will contain a geometry called prop, and you will need to have two. This is displaying, yes. You will have to create two different animations, one for the avatar and one for the prop, and they will need to be coordinated. So now we have specific naming conventions for all those name clips. So we can advance forward to the new features that we will develop for emotes in the future. So you have these underscore chair or whatever you want to put in their avatar, or underscore prop. And as usual, you can go to export these. You need to make sure that you are exporting these without the avatar geometry. So you only export the armature of the prop, and the geometry itself. So I give you, if you want to look then later for the presentation, I give you some tips of how to export these avatar to GLB. And additionally, we have a new sound that can be played with the emote. So this duration of the sound needs to be equal to the duration of the emote, and it can be playing on loop as well. And we have an additional file that is called emote.json, where you can have all the attributes that you are usually feeling on the builder. You can have all of there. In the future, probably we're going to be extending this, so we are easing up how the integration with the builder is working. So as soon as you have all those files, you package that on a zip file, and you can go to the builder and upload the file to a new collection. So I'm going to show here. And here we have the typical way of creating the thumbnail and filling the information. As you can see, all the gaps are already filled because it was retrieving the information from the auto.json. So now we have modified as well the edit thumbnail. So the silhouette of the avatar is still in black, but we have decided to put the props in color. So yeah, there is no much modifications that you will see on the editor itself, apart from being able to reproduce the emote with the props and be able to reproduce sounds. So making sure that it's coordinated, and you will see the number of triangles and materials and all that as usual. So yeah, I don't going to go through the creation process of this because it's going to be mostly the same. But these are already integrated into the marketplace, and on the marketplace, you will be able to search the new emotes by sound or by props if you want specifically to find that. You can find the documentation that is already available in the docs website. We have created a specific section called adding props and sound to your emotes. And yeah, I'm really eager and excited to see what you can build with Emotes 2.0. The next feature that we have released is the map improvements. So with the map improvements, we have overhauled the architecture of the map application, and now we have finally integrated several features that were requested very long time ago. So now you can have filters to filters by favorite or point of view, see your friends, or see where are crowded places with people. And as well, we have satellite view that was highly requested by everybody. So now we have integration with the Genesis City map. So I'm very grateful that we have been working with the Genesis City team to integrate that. And this also prepares a little bit the ground for the features that we will be implementing on top of this. Also, you will be able to search for new places or for different places on a search bar that you have on the top. And we have also improved the navigation on that, so you know where are you heading and the direction of your avatar, so it's better for orientation. I think that's next to, I don't know, I cannot pass the slide to Nico.
Hey everyone, what's up? So I want to show a lot of stuff we're building with the new editor. So the new editor is a tool for content creators to create scenes with the brand new SDK 7. And this is both a web tool that you can use as part of the builder, and also a desktop tool that you can use as a Visual Studio Code extension. So all the features I'll be showing now, like they apply to both the web and the desktop version. So let's start with something a little bit more mundane, but still pretty interesting, which is the ability to create like a number of things that have to do with static content, but where you now have like the ability to just like create things with a lot more flexibility. So in this little video, we see that we can create primitive shapes. You can change from a cube to a cylinder. If it's a cylinder, you can change some properties and make that cylinder into a cone or something in between, or also a sphere. So this is with the primitive shape component. I can also add a component for material, and I can color anything, whatever that shape was, with materials. So I can switch the color to red, to black, or I can even switch it to a more custom intermediate color with a lot more freedom to pick a color. I can also apply a texture, so I can upload any image file I want into the editor, even to the web editor, and I can drag it into the texture field, and there I have a Decentraland logo, which is a bit stretched, but if I stretch the cube just right, it looks good. I also have a bunch of other properties. For example, emissiveness, I can make something glow like a neon. I can make it like a little bit less bright. I can change that glow to a red glow so that it looks a little bit more like a neon. And there's a bunch of other properties also with materials. So I switched the shape back to a cylinder because I also want to show colliders. So colliders are a bit more of a subtle thing. So colliders are invisible, and what they do is they prevent the player from walking through something, and they also allow you to click on something. And so in this case, I just added a brand new collider, and you'll see that the shape is a box, whilst what the shape you're seeing is a cylinder. But I can also change the shape of my collider to match the shape of what I'm seeing as the visible shape of this. You don't necessarily always want to make them look the same. And also I can pick what layer I'm using. I just mentioned that they can block the player's movement, also click things, and that is done by the two layers, physics and pointer events. And also something that is brand new and we never had before is that all of the assets from the editor and also custom assets also have properties for their colliders. So you can change how these colliders behave. You can make things so that players can just walk through them or not click on them. Or you can use the invisible, simpler geometry of, like maybe they have just a cube as a collider geometry. You can switch between using that simpler geometry and using like the visible geometry. And then there's also text. You can also 3D write text inside the 3D space of the Decentraland. Here you see that I need to adjust the size of the object so that it matches the text that I want to show. So if I make the object a little bit bigger, it all fits. And of course, I can also, change properties like the color of the text, add borders, add shades, and all of those, basic properties. And also, I can change the color with, with the same level of detail as I could with the other things I was showing. And I can add a border, change the color the border of the color, etc., etc. And then the last thing I wanted to show in this video is that you can also add sounds to things in the Decentraland. So by using the audio source component, you can make something emit a sound. And this is a positional sound that sounds from that location. So I just created an empty entity. So it's invisible, but it has a location in space because the sound sounds from that place. And I can drag it anywhere. And then I can import any audio file into the editor, even to the web editor, and drag it into that field, set it to loop, and to start playing from the start. And there I have, in this case, the sound of water playing from that location. So those are pretty cool things that we weren't able to do before with the old SDK6 builder, but probably something that you've been missing from that editor is smart items. So smart items let you basically drag something in and have something interactive in the scene. That's like, essential for building any kind of interesting and fun content. So with smart items, you are able to just build stuff without writing any code. Yeah, thank you. So in this little video, I'm dragging in a door, and I'm also dragging in a lever. And both of these items come pre-configured, so you can already click on the door and open it, and the lever can also be clicked and it will switch positions. But also you can go into the properties of the lever and you can assign actions to it that also controls the door. So in this case, the lever has a couple of actions that relate to the link, to the click action. And you can also point to the door and set the door to open in one case. And when the lever goes the other way, you can, again, point to the door and set the door to close. And with just that, I can already run a preview and have an interactive scene where the lever opens the door. But smart items now are immensely more configurable than they ever were. Like I can add all sorts of interactions between items. I'm not limited to just what the smart item came with, like from out of the box. I can add sounds or change sounds or add animations, add movements, make any item trigger any item in all sorts of ways. So this is a lot more, lot less restricting than it ever was before. So here I click on the lever and open the door, and I click it back and it closes. And I can also click directly on the door, which is the default behavior of the door. And yeah, this is just like a very basic example of what you can do. But here is a bit more of a more complete example. This is a scene that was built by one of the devs in the team, Juanca, and it probably took him like an hour or maybe a bit more, but no, not a lot more than that. And in the scene, you can do a bunch of things that don't necessarily come like out of the box from smart items. So there, we use a trigger area to make the boat move. Now, you can't click on the door right away, but you'll find that there's this shovel, which is not a smart item, but you just clicked on it, and now it's attached to your hand, and you can use it to dig. And notice it takes several clicks to dig. You open the chest, you get a key, and with that key, you can open that door. And here's a chainsaw. This chainsaw is not a smart item. It's not an item that comes with the builder. It was just downloaded from Sketchfab, and you can hear it now. It makes a chainsaw sound, and with it you can chop these logs, and then you can put the chainsaw down and jump into this raft, and click the lever, and sail off into the sunset. So this is a nice and quick example of just how completely liberating these features are. And you can build all sorts of things with it. I'm really looking forward to see how people get creative with this. So this is already live, by the way. You can already play with all of this. And yeah, there's already documentation covering this, which I shared on the last slide. So onto something a bit more subtle. So tweens are, they relate to moving something or changing something's state from one state to another state over a period of time. So in this case, it has to do with moving things, with rotating things, or with changing the scale of things. So this is something that was already possible, but it was possible in a more indirect way. So in the past, when I wanted to make something move, the SDK was telling the engine, hey, this is here. Hey, this is here. Hey, this is here. And we were moving things very gradually, 30 times, and we were sending messages 30 times per second, telling the engine the new position of the thing, which was extremely inefficient. And also it led to things sometimes feeling like they were kind of jumpy, like you can notice the lagging motion frame by frame. Maybe with the streaming of this video, you can't really tell that how smooth this is, but like this is actually really smooth. And with this, you are able to use the full capacity of the frames per second of the engine. Like if you have a good machine and running like at 120 frames per second, you will see this movement at 120 frames per second. So this is a nice addition, nice optimization. And the final feature I wanted to cover that out of the things we already delivered is quests. So quests are something that has been, kind of in the works and kind of stuck, frankly, for a very long time, and we finally pushed it past the finish line. So I'm really happy about this. So with quests are a series of steps that players need to go through in order to complete a quest. So in this case, this is an example. We have a bartender that tells you that he can make you an amazing drink and sends you off on a quest to fetch the ingredients for that drink. In this case, you have to fetch cat hairs from the cat guy to make the drink. Why not? So notice that there's a UI on the side. It's maybe a bit too small to see, but this UI is showing you your progress and telling you what is the next step. And this, of course, is not the most pretty UI. It's kind of a placeholder, but also this UI is fully customizable. So the creator of a scene that uses this can customize the look of that UI all they want. So there I just got the cat hairs, and the next step is to talk to the bartender again. And with this, I completed one more step, and he's going to tell me what the next step is. So the features that have to do with quests have to do with cheat prevention and with storing progress. So this is a quest editor. And here I can look at all of the quests I have. I can go into a quest and edit it. And the beautiful thing is I can edit it graphically. I no longer have to write an ugly JSON and keep track of all of the codes. I can just drag and drop items. And each one of these items has sub-items or not. And I can also, this is a simple quest. It's pretty linear. It goes in a straight line, even though the line is not, it's kind of squiggly. But I can also build quests that branch out, where you have to do things in parallel, or those kind of things. So the quests, we're doing a couple of interesting things. We're preventing cheating. So since this has to go through a server, we simplify all of the things that have to do with making sure that the player really is in Decentraland, that he's not sending API requests through some shady other backdoor. We're also storing progress. So if a player gets halfway through getting through a quest and they close Decentraland and then they come back, there will be a record of how far they got, and they will be able to keep playing from that point on. And there's also support for rewards. So right now, the quest server connects to any custom reward server. So you will have to set up your own reward server. But the good thing is that thanks to this request coming from the quest server, there's already some layers of cheating prevention that help give rewards in a more secure way. So yeah, that's all I wanted to cover for now.
Okay, so I'm going to present another of things that we released just today, a few hours ago, that it's support for ENS domain owners for words. So if you own an ENS domain, that I would assume that most of us know what that is in this space, you also own a Decentraland word. It has the limitation of size of 25 megabytes per word. But this is a huge step into interoperability, and also to try to get people from other communities like ENS, which is huge, to come and try Decentraland and have their own space in the centralized metaverse, and be able to try and play with this stuff. So they can go to the builder, deploy the scene that they create as using smart items or anything they want, choosing from the ENS. As you can see there in the video, it's grabbing the ENS names that I have in my wallet because I own them, and it works in the same way as the current flow to deploy scenes to a world. But you can also choose from to deploy to an ENS world, which for us in the Decentraland is going to look the same, but it will be helpful to onboard a new set of users that probably have not come to the Decentraland. So this could be like a huge step. Another thing I want to share is a few more improvements for worlds as well. Now you can create events for worlds. Up until now, you could only create events that happen in lands, but now you will find the option while creating an event to choose to the location as a world. Still, at this moment, as per the last governance proposal, you need to own a land in order to be able to do this. But there was a more recent proposal about letting every user not necessarily owning a land to host events and show them in worlds. So this is going to be open for everyone soon, but for now it's still for landowners. And these events will be also discoverable in the events tab and also in world. So making the events more discoverable also that happen in worlds is great for the fast. And if you have a scene in a land or in a world, you can also host events, and they're going to be easy to find. So I'm hoping to see more parties and stuff going on also in the worlds, not only in Genesis City. Another interesting thing that we are introducing later today is scene categorization. We were missing categories for the scenes until now. We are starting with a set of predefined categories that were chosen by using an AI algorithm that was looking at the information with the current scenes, mostly the names and the descriptions. And we found that these were the most used themes for all the scenes that are currently there. So this is the way in order to add a category to your scene is by adding that parameter to the scene JSON, or you can also do it in the builder if you're doing the scene from there. So it's super easy to use. The documentation is going to be uploaded also later today. And And yeah, this is going to be discoverable first in the Places tab, then we need to put it also in the Explorer, but first here in the web application. And it's going to look like this, as you can see in the video. And it works sort of like a filter, and you can use many at the same time. And also creators can choose up to 3 categories for their scenes. So after we introduce this in production, you're going to see, if you already have a scene deployed, you're going to see it categorized, most likely. But you can override that information in case you feel there's something that suits more the content of your scene. This is also responsive, so you can check them out on mobile as well. And yeah, it's pretty cool. The categories are right there. These are art, crypto, social, game, shop, education, music, point of interest. That is the same point of interests that are chosen at the DAO. Also fashion, casino, sports, feature. It was also a category that was already present, and business is also a new one of the ones that we are introducing right now. So check it out, update your scenes information to be discoverable in these categories, and hopefully this will bring more traffic to your scenes. Another cool thing that was introduced in this case to the marketplace, it's a much more improved search experience. Now you can search for emotes, wearables, and also collections and creators. That's something that we didn't have up until now. If you use the marketplace, it was kind of unflexible. You had to look for the name exactly as it was written. It didn't allow typos. It didn't allow if you wrote, if the name has 2 terms, you had to write it in the same order. So it was really tough to find something by searching the marketplace. Now it's way more flexible, and it will bring results even though if you have a typo, if you don't write it in the same exact order. So yeah, it works really cool. We're also bringing the creators search here. Until now, it was only a filter, but now you can also find the amazing creators in the community by searching their names and also their collections. And one last thing is that there's a history of the things that were searched. So you will have it right there, and you can go back to the things that you searched in the past and try to grab those items. The last update that I wanted to share that is going to be ready next week. It's what we call default realm. If you know or if you experience this and jump between realms, if you're familiar with it, it's kind of easy. But what we are doing right now is putting a layer on top of that will be a main realm, and you can still be able to choose and move between realms from different catalysts, but it's going to be like a default position for all the players the first time they come, and then this will allow the world to feel more populated, because sometimes it happens that you get into a Decentraland and you go to a scene to find a friend, and there's maybe you cannot see them, and one of the reasons that makes that happen is that you are not in the same realm, you're not connected to the same server. So this will be a huge win for people who feel that they are not seeing their friends, and sometimes they feel alone. They should be able to see more people with this feature. We're still keeping the catalyst. There's nothing on the backend changing on that front, nothing on the protocol as well. So it's still decentralized as always. And you can also change realms if you want to be like on solo mode. You can go to a less crowded realm. So yeah, that was it for the things that were deployed during this week. Today, tomorrow, we are in the middle of all the releases. So I hope you enjoy those features. We really love the feedback. So if you check them out, we are going to be announcing them. Today we released the announcement for the ENS, the words for ENS domain holders. So if you can share feedback over there, we can really appreciate it and continue iterating to make better products for all the community. And now what we were all waiting for, this is the fun part, where we are sharing some alpha and the things that are currently in development during cycle 3. the releases and shipping of this is going to be some of the things that we are presenting by mid-November and some others by early December. So expect to see new and exciting updates for those dates. Obviously, we are going to announce them as we always do. So let's see what we got over here. Well, first, let me share something that we do behind the scenes and how we prioritize this and why we are doing this in this cycle. We're focusing in two things mainly at this moment. On one hand, we are trying to keep polishing the current experience. So we know there are some technical depths and design depths, and trying to polish those rough edges so the experience is way smoother, like Nico presented at the Twins, to make it feel less laggy, like a bunch of improvements that we're going to introduce really soon, trying to make it a way better experience for all of us in the platform. And on the other hand, maybe some of us are already super familiar and OGs in Decentraland, so we are past the onboarding. But for many users that are new and they want to experience this amazing world, I see the creativity of the community. Sometimes they struggle when they want to log in and join the platform. So we are going to introduce some improvements on the onboarding, which is not only the login experience and getting your account and start building your persona inside the Decentraland, but also getting mana, buying wearables and emotes, buying land, buying names, and really onboard into a platform and see what it has to offer. So let's see the details on how we're going to do this. So on Polish experience, we're going to introduce two new libraries. One is material design. Maybe you already know it. This is going to be for all the dApps. This is going to be something that it will be gradually introduced into all dApps to gain consistency and better UIs and more and better accessibility as well, to be more inclusive. So we're going to start with a few dApps, and the implementation is going to be gradual. So this will take some time, but in the end, we'll have a really consistent platform in terms of UI. And on the other hand, as Nico was showing before on the editor, we're going to keep growing that to give more tools for creators to do things easily. We're going to introduce a new library that we're going to use every time we add a new component, a new feature inside the editor. So it's always consistent, it's always clear. Now it's getting kind of complicated because there are many options and it's too flexible, which is a really good thing. But on the other side, we have to make it easy to understand. So introducing a library here to make sure that every component is easy to read, that it's clear, that you have links to documentation, tooltips, and all of that. It's going to be good for scalability and also for understanding mainly if it's the first time you're using the tool. Also, we are introducing notifications. Again, this is also something gradual, but we're going to start with the marketplace. When we release this, you're going to see a new bell icon, really standard, near to your profile. And there you are going to receive notifications, which are in-app, so it's not invasive. But if you go to the market and check it out, and you will find all the things that were happening around your account. So if you're selling items and you made a sale, you're going to be notified about that. If some item that you created was sold in the secondary market, you will receive royalties and you will be notified about that. Also bids that you place and that you and are accepted, and also the bids that you received. This is going to be also a good thing to move the market more. For lands, if you own land and you put it for rent, you have to come back and check if it's over, and if you can claim it back, you are just going to be notified. And also, if you got a new airdrop, somebody sent you an item as a gift, you're going to be notified. Or if you go to an event and get an item, you don't have to check the backpack every time. You will be notified here as well. And we will be adding more notifications for other places of the ecosystem as well. For example, in the DAO, for events, places, etc., etc. This is something small, but if you are truly an OG and have some layer 1 wearables in Ethereum, maybe you noticed that there were some small clipping issues after we introduced the hands category. There was some clipping with the upper body, as you can see on the image that it's on top. we're going to fix that. That's a small improvement, but it's good for the OGs in the platform.
So regarding polishing things, the SDK 7 has always had some kinks in the UI, some things that we really need to smooth it out. So right now, if you've been making UIs and SDK 7 scenes, you will you should experience that there's a whole lot more flexibility. You can do a lot of things that are common with web development of applications, and like more of a kind of like an Angular or a React style way of coding, which is on one hand extremely powerful, but there's some things that require a bit more help and require a bit more polish. So for example, right now you cannot auto adjust the size of a child element based on the parent element, and with changes screens of different sizes, that can be problematic. Or for example, when it comes to the size of text, you have to manually, conditionally say that this text will be this big in pixels if the screen is that big, or this big in pixels if the screen is that big, which is on one hand like a common practice on web development, but it does feel like way too much work, and we should provide at least handy workarounds for people who don't want to go through all that trouble. And also there's problems we had to fix. For example, in this image, I'm showing an example of something that is pretty dreadful. Really, like if you have one UI element in one corner, another UI element in another corner, it's like the invisible but implicitly created parent that spans the area of the both becomes an unclickable area, which is just terrible. And there's an easy fix for that, and there's a bunch of easy fixes that we want to bring. Another thing that we're missing, that we've always been missing, is support for different fonts. Now, you don't want to have a bunch of fonts, but at the very least, like a monospace, a serif, a non-serif, bold, italic. Those things are pretty essential. So the next thing I want to cover, yes, are more smart items. So I shared before some really cool things you can do, and you can build all sorts of things with just a few mechanics, but we're right now only supporting a few mechanics. So like we can play animations, play sounds, move things, but then there's other things that we also want to be able to do: play videos, show an NFT, open a link. And those are things that will require a little bit of work behind the scenes to make those mechanics available. And also, there's a lot of stuff that we weren't able to do before with the old builder that we also want to do. So teleporting the players, playing avatar modes. So also stuff like delay actions and showing UI notifications were possible with the old builder, but with pretty ugly workarounds. Maybe probably if you use it, you know what I mean. And yeah, like someone mentioned in the chat earlier, if quests would be able to be doable via the editor. So that's not part of the scope of what we're going to work on right now, but it's absolutely possible. Yes, like there's nothing stopping that from be possible. So yes, that's okay.
Great. So let's continue to talk about onboarding. Even though some of the things that we are polishing will help us on that front, we are also introducing some new features that are truly decisive for onboarding new people and making it way easier for everyone, or not only the Web3 community, but also in the Web2 community. So let's get into it. First, this is something simple, but that it's we show the data shows that it's a struggle for many people. Currently, the first time you enter Decentraland, you need to accept the terms and conditions and privacy policy. That's really standard, but the current experience is not great. You have like a huge scroll that it's also kind of slow and difficult to navigate. So you're going to move into a pretty much standard way of agreeing terms and conditions in general. This obviously are going to be still available for anyone to check them out and to read them carefully. But if you want to just pass through it, you're going to be able to just click on a checkbox and move on to the next step, and this should decrease the dropout in this step of the funnel by a lot. So simple win, but super helpful for all the new users that we want to attract to the platform. So moving on. We are going to work on a few improvements on the single sign-on. We already introduced in the past cycle a few improvements here. So previously you had to send yeah, to do two operations. It's logging in and signing a message. Don't want to get too technical. In every dApp that you connect. After we introduce the first version of single sign-on, you only have to do two the first time you connect to a site. That's the authentication and then sign in a message. And then you have to do the authentication in every other dApp. And if you log into one, you're not automatically logged into the other ones. So after we introduce this improvement, that's exactly how it's going to work. So if you go to any dApp or even the web version of Decentraland, you're going to sign in once. You have to perform these two operations only the first time, and then you're going to be automatically logged to all the other applications. And of course, if you log out in any, you're going to be logged out of the other ones. So it's going to be way more simple, mostly for people who are in the DAO. They are also in the marketplace. They are creating cool stuff in the builder. They are playing inside, etc. So if you are all around, this is going to be way easier and way faster and smoother to move across dApps. You don't have to log in every time. Another cool feature, and this is one of the things that I really like, and this will be super powerful for people in the Web3 space, which is multi-chain purchases. This is buying wearables, buying land, names, any asset inside the Decentraland, but not only using Mana or Polygon Mana or, well, credit card, as we already have that feature in, but you're going to also pay with other tokens like Ethereum, like USDT, Optimism, Matic, etc., etc. So it's going to be super easy for anyone that doesn't have necessarily Mana in their wallets, because it's kind of hard to get it. And if you already have a USDT or Ethereum, you're going to be able to purchase and get amazing stuff just by buying with those tokens. You're going to still need to connect it on Ethereum or Polygon, as currently are, but you can buy with other tokens. So yeah, mostly any token that you can have in your wallet. So it's going to be a nice improvement. And the last thing that I want to present, and this is personally one of the things that I really like the most, it's what we call social login. So right now, as you already know, you can only log in if you have a wallet. Creating a wallet the first time, it's not the easiest experience. I think we all went through that. But introducing this to tap on another market for people who maybe are not familiar with crypto or they don't have a wallet, this is a great way to introduce all of those persons to this world. We know the importance of getting a wallet, so we are using one solution that is called Magic, that it's really secure. We've done all the diligences, and it's a really good bet, and it's also ensures ownership. So they make it easy for users on the front end. In the back end, they're storing the keys in different places, and you can at any point take them with you. So if you really want to own your assets, you can still do. Doesn't matter if you log in with Twitter, with Discord, with Gmail, Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitch. All of those options are going to be available, and this is going to be really scalable and will really help us scale in terms of getting new users to come to this amazing platform, moving out the barrier of creating a wallet on all that complexity, and making it really easy for everyone to join and experience the amazing content that we have around in the Decentraland. So super excited to see this in production and where this might take us. This is the last update from the Pro team. Thanks so much for listening. Fede, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Nico. Thanks a lot, the other Nico, Alvaro, and all the people from the foundation. We've heard like awesome updates, huge updates. We talked about a lot of events and open sessions that are going to happen in the next few days, the next few weeks. We also talked about, we had the huge announcement of our first in real world meetup on next May. We have a lot of updates regarding emotes, regarding editor improvements, SDK improvements, interactions, smart items, everything with a smoother experience, with less code, that's going to make way easier everything for current creators and for people that's going to join the platform. And also we've heard like a lot of updates about the dApps and worlds and the enhancement of the UI and the UX and a smoother experience for those dApps. So thanks a lot for those updates. I think we can jump into the AMA section.
Hey, Fede,
So
can I just add one quick thing?
yeah,
For
sure.
everyone?
Go ahead.
Hey, it's Kim again. I just wanted to let you know all of this is wrapped up in the public-facing Q3 blog that was just posted. I'll drop it in the chat too, just so you can see all of the recap of what's been done and what's to come over the next quarter. So feel free to check that out when you get a chance as well. It was just released during this presentation. Thanks.
Thanks a lot, Kim. So again, I think we can jump into the AMA section. I'm going to zoom in just a little for everyone to see. And well, let's start with the most voted one.
Thank you.
I'm going to pass it to you, Channel. Sorry.
Yeah, I can read the questions and answer. So let's start with the first one. Where is the foundation currently in terms of VR? Any roadmap ETA for alpha? Is the current work on it based on the DAO grant, or are they two separate projects? So we already have a testing build. I'm looking for testers. So I'm sharing a form here in the chat. So if you own a VR headset and want to test the alpha, please sign up and we can share it sometime next week. It's still on development. We have something that we feel it's okay for publishing it. So probably publishing first in SideQuest and then trying to do the due diligence to publish it on Steam and publish it on the Meta Store. Yeah, so it's regarding the question if it's based on the DAO grant. No, it's not. It's a different build. The scope is way smaller than what you can do on Decentraland nowadays. This build or the approach of this application is that you can log in using your Decentraland account and you can see your avatar, you can see you can play your emotes, and we have like fixed spaces, 4 different spaces. It's mostly focused on having meetings, so you can have like a gathering, a meetup in VR with your Decentraland avatars over there. And we started with another build because we wanted to do it super performant and look pretty, and also to reduce the scope in order to publish it in different stores. We foresee that maybe some troubles in publishing on different stores, so reducing like the user-generated content was like the first step into getting into those stores. Yeah, so please sign up if you want to be a tester. We can meet up in VR if you want. What do you think about inviting experts from Karpathy to enhance Decentraland DAO financial transparency, optimize treasury, and promote sustainable long-term growth? I have talked with the team. They look pretty solid for me. So I think that that's an interesting initiative. I would support that proposal. Yeah, I think they have the experience, and I receive very good feedback from other people. They started on Gnosis project and managing a lot of funds for them, and they have been expanding their services to other DAOs. So I think it's totally worth exploring for Decentraland DAO. When can we expect a referral code and login on website? Many projects could track attendance and also allow special giveaways. We don't have it on the roadmap at the moment. we should take note of this, Nico, and evaluate it for another cycle later. But I think it's an interesting point to consider.
Of course. Also, if you have other feature requests, you can use Kani. I'm going to share the link now in the chat.
Next question. Why don't give the DAO one of the plazas to build on? The blog states you gave them to the DAO, but yet no, you did not. The plazas are under control of Foundation, and we do give leases of plazas. Actually, one DAO grant from Last Lies to build like an in-world marketplace. That was a project funded by the DAO, and we granted the plaza, and it's there. So if someone else wants to build something, we can give the lease. There is some formalities to give the lease that we need to know who is the person on the other side and what's the terms for the lease, like how many months. But yeah, we're totally willing to do it. Would there be more economic related features from the foundation? Feel like there is a lack of incentive schemes in every aspect of the system. I'm not sure what is an economic related features. I'm not sure if I understand the question. Maybe someone can clarify that. Is that we have been chatting around like maybe the referral code, or maybe I don't know, tracking who are the most active players in your scene. I don't know. No, not sure what's the answer to that. I think like the responsibility of Foundation is to push the limits of what the platform is, to develop the client, but we heavily rely on the creators to build experiences in there, and the things you can build inside Decentraland are huge. You can build from like a art gallery to a game and a casino. So I think like the incentives there should come from the creators. If there is a global solution that we can provide, for sure, we can build it, but we don't have it in our roadmap right now. When will Decentraland come in profit? This is an interesting question. At the moment, Foundation doesn't make money at all. We are funded with the same vesting contract as the DAO, and we spend it all in mostly engineers and contributors that are building the platform. And the profit from Decentraland comes from the marketplace. Like we try to build an internal economy and capture part of that value add and redirect those fees to the DAO. So every time a name is minted, every time there is a land sale, every time there is a first wearable sale, every time a creator publish a collection, all those actions generate profit for the DAO. And we are looking forward that Decentraland eventually gets funded through the DAO directly using that income. We still have 7 years to go to make that ecosystem grow more and more. Are there any plans in the pipeline to include the satellite version of the Decentraland map from Genesis City into the main claim? For sure, yes. It's already live. Super happy to. That was quick. Next one. When is Decentraland going to allow people to profit from promoting the metaverse? I think like you can make a profit nowadays, like if you organize an event and organize all by yourself. If you are thinking more on the sense of an affiliate program in which you get a particular link and then you get paid by the users, we don't have it in the roadmap, but it's an interesting idea. I wonder who is going to fund that those profits. Maybe we can do an experiment in collaboration with the DAO. But yeah, taking note on this. What are the plans for getting wearables updates so they work with the new hands category? That's something that, yeah, we're doing in the next cycle, updating the L1 wearables to, yeah, fit the new hands category. That's on the L1 wearables. If you own a wearable that was created by a creator, you can ping the creator and they can update the wearables for you. When will Decentraland DAO start following the rules they made to sell mana? Decentraland is selling a lot of mana. That's a DAO question. Maybe someone from the DAO want to answer this?
I mean, we are discussing different strategies to swap mana for stablecoins. The strategy planning working group is part of the discussion, and that's why we're reaching out to experts to improve the way we do that.
Thank you, Gino. If I wanted to make Decentraland 2, could just fork? What's the licensing like? Does everyone have to agree to something plot specific, or it's like CC by? So the Decentraland code is open source. So if you want to take the code, fork it, and change the name, for sure, I think you can do it. If you want to use Decentraland name, I think Foundation is the protector of the Decentraland brand. So we may want to sign an agreement, understand who you are and what are your plans for that. But if you want to put another name, I think you can do it. We can check on with Kim and the legal team to discuss that idea if you want. Please contact me or contact Kim, and we can review the case. Is there a new Decentraland, a new client in the pipeline? If so, what will be the difference in terms of comparison to the current one? We do have a new client in pipeline. At the moment, it's really early stage. There are many substantial changes in the new client. Performance is paramount in this one. So it should run super fast. That's a big point. Second point, it's targeting a desktop and ready to also run in mobile and VR directly. The current architecture of the current client it's old, has a lot of technical depths, and there are a lot of compromises to make it work on web. So we're first targeting native platforms. So yeah, we should see a huge improvement in terms of performance, light of sight, like being capable of rendering the world far away. Yeah, but it's kind of early to share the progress there. Early next year, maybe we can share that. And the goal is in the conference that we want to organize in May, we can all be playing with that new client. Next one, David Paul, should Decentraland work with and adopt OMI standards for vehicles and seats? Passed with 99 and more than 6 million votes. OMI met right after Decentraland All Hands. I'm not sure what's the question. Maybe it's more an informative thing. I think like if OMI wants to do anything with the Decentraland SDK, they are free to do it. If they need something from Foundation to change the client for that, that's something that we need to review and queue it on our side for development. Please let us know if you need some support there. For the music festival, how is the licensing working for music? I believe Yara has left the foundation and used to deal with this. Kim, do you have an insight on this?
Hey, yeah, it depends on what the licensing question is, but if it's traditional like copyright type licensing for the festival, anything you bring into the festival, you must have the license and rights for to use. If there's a different question about getting artists on board, Bay is handling the production side, and we had the artist open call, and those artists will be announced soon. But if it's a copyright license question, Bay or I can probably help you if you have something specific.
Thank you, Kim. Is there a way to take snapshot of all the world data to how one can snapshot all the world data? Does wearable info get encoded into exported VRMs? Taken a snapshot. So I think I not fully understand the question. Nowadays, you can take a picture inside Decentraland using the camera feature, and you get a shareable link that includes all the avatars and the wearables that they are using at the moment. So that's one way you can access the information of the wearables. If you go deeper, if you check the API, the way you connect to the Catalyst, you can download the profile of any address, and you can see what are the wearables that are using in the profile at the moment, and you can get the address or the pointers to download all the wearables as well in the GLTI format. So that's publicly available, and if you want to take that information, that's public on the Catalyst side. And the VRM export is just converting all the different wearables into like a VRM standard mesh. Alvaro?
We are embedding the information of the wearables for attribution inside the wearable metadata, in the VRM metadata. But you don't have a pointer specifically to that wearable into the Catalyst. You have the reference of the wearable and the creator, if that was the question.
Thank you, Alvaro. You can check on the documentation, the Decentraland documentation on contributors, and you can learn more about how the content server works on the Catalyst and how you can download these profiles and the wearables. If I wanted to use assets like GLBs from Decentraland in alternative client, what's the licensing like for that? Is there a way to query to the licensing? I think the license depends on the creator, and it's up to them to define the license. Maybe on the terms and conditions, Decentraland is something specific on that. Maybe Kim, do you have any insight on licensing of wearables? I think we answered a question in the request for information recently about it.
Yeah, I'm not exactly sure on this, but we could ask the legal team. If there's a specific question and you want to reach out to me, I can get the exact answer, but I'm not as aware on the technical side of it. So if you can send the specific question, we're happy to check with legal and get back to you. But I believe anything, there are terms in there regarding licensing. So I just need to get the exact language from them. I don't want to misspeak.
Yeah.
When it comes to example scenes, at least, we've always used Apache 2 license. And I would guess that that probably also applies to the 3D models that you use in the builder, if that's what you're asking about. So Apache 2 basically means that you can use something freely, but you have to, include some kind of mention of who the creator was.
Yeah, and if it's your own assets, you retain ownership. So if you're putting something into Decentraland and you want to make another version of it somewhere else, like that's your ownership. The only thing Decentraland has would be any right to use it in marketing, but you own your own assets. So just to clarify that part.
Yeah. If this answer is not clear enough, please reach out to me or Kim via email, and we can address that with the legal team. And if you can be specific on which assets you want to use, that will be easier. Look, someone is cooking a fork. Next one. Does Foundation have any plan to enter the India market, just like Sandbox did with that event?
Do you want me to take it, Yamal?
Sorry?
I said, do you want me to take this one or you got it?
Let's go for it.
Yeah. Right now, as I'm looking at some of our data, India is our #2 trending country over the last 12 months. So United States is #1, and then visitors from India is #2. As a whole, as we look at different markets and where we could, quote unquote, enter the market, depending on what you mean by that. But we look at global opportunities. So all of our audiences right now is all organic marketing. So we look at where our audience comes from on each individual channel. We do have a good India audience on some of our social channels as well. So we are, quote unquote, like entered into the market. If the question is more around particular intentional efforts in India, we're keeping our eyes across the board on global conferences that make sense, aligned to where our audiences are. So we are currently assessing all the 2024 conferences and have them spread kind of throughout the globe for where we can be speakers, host workshops, etc. So definitely keeping an eye on that. And as they continue to have more of a Web3 presence, definitely on our radar. In regards to paid opportunities, we will be doing some paid advertising in the near future. And India is in that realm that we will be looking at.
Thank you, Kim. Can project with space in the main plaza for the music festival utilize the rewards system for world's claims during the event? Yeah, totally. Please, if you have a space, ask Bay for support, and she's the main organizer, producer, and she can get you some help from Foundation to set those rewards. Are there any plans to use sync authorization for content moderation? Oh, this is an interesting one. I think we are also releasing a feature about content moderation that lets you flag a scene if the scene is like for 13 plus, that it's like on terms and conditions, the minimum age to use the Decentraland client for now. So you can flag it as 13 plus or 18 plus or as restricted. Restricted is like this is in violation of like terms of conditions and services, or maybe violating other laws. So we are pushing for that feature as a way for doing content moderation. I think on the client side, you can say it, like, I do want to see adult content or not. The content that is flagged in that way won't be showed if you have that filter on. I'm not sure if that's already live or coming soon. Nico, do you want to expand on this?
Yeah, that's coming out between tomorrow and Monday, so really soon.
Thank you, Nico. So to answer again, we want people to flag the content for content moderation. Also, if you are the creator of the scene, you can, on the scene.json, you can auto-categorize your scene as adult content. So no need for like other people to report the scene. For the moment, it's the Foundation support team, the ones that are going to be reviewing the flags. Can we have the ability to manipulate the UV data on the custom model so that we can do scrolling UV techniques, please? Nico Ersho, do you want to comment on this?
Sure, yeah, we've spoken with Malloy about this before. It's a really cool feature. It's a bit of an advanced feature to use, but definitely something that we've always wanted. Like being able to change the properties of a 3D model via code to change materials and all kinds of things, like that's something we've been waiting for a very long time. We will get there eventually, but for now, it's not in the top priorities we're working on right now. But absolutely something I would love to see later on. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Not in the roadmap for this cycle, but maybe we can include it for the next one. No promises, but sounds like an amazing feature. When NFT gated setting via builder.
So yeah, also it's something that could absolutely be possible with the new smart items. Not part of what we're going to work on in this initial iteration, but we absolutely want to do that kind of thing too. Like with the old builder, we were a lot more limited in what things you can use with smart items. Now, basically anything you can do with code in a scene could be done with smart items too. So that's like really liberating. And we could do things with permissions and NFTs and things that before we never could.
Next one. How does the foundation envision people using Decentraland in the future? It's an interesting question. My vision and what we see from the metrics, I believe that Decentraland has two important use cases. One is for explorers, people who enjoy the wonders of finding random things in Genesis City, like traversing an open world. That's pretty unique from Decentraland if you compare it to other platforms that claim to be a metaverse, I don't know, such as Roblox, for example, or in VR as well. You get isolated scenes, but you don't have this unique thing of an open world in which like different creators place their creation next to each other. So exploring Decentraland, I think like it's a very compelling use case, and doing it with other people is the second part. Like socializing, I think it's a really important part, and I think the community is our mode in that sense. Like we have a strong community, and finding a group of people that you feel alone, and that's a reason you come back. I think that's those really important aspects of Decentraland as a space, a place you can meet people, gather with friends, hang out, party, and when that's over, you can go explore new wonders. Then, of course, are other use cases that depends on what, like Decentraland platform let you build whatever you want there. So if you want to showcase your business, or you want to build a super interesting game, I think the platform should be ready for that as well. We have been developing some games internally in Foundation, looking to launch it soon. So also gaming is an interesting part of it. I think the client needs to improve a lot before gaming gets a major user base, though. Hopefully next year. Who will be the best person to ask about the endpoint for the new scene categories?
I can take that one. We're going to release the documentation together with the feature, hopefully this week. But you can check it over there. It should be self-explanatory. If you still have doubts, you can contact our support channels. I will get back with answers and help.
Awesome. Thank you so much. So we reach the end of our questions, and I think it's the end of the session. I am passing the mic to Fede. Thank you so much, everyone, for coming.
Okay, back to me. Well, not much else to add. Just again, thanks everyone for joining. Special thanks for the foundation, for the foundation members that have taken the time to put together this presentation in order to like give more in terms of transparency, in terms of building more bridges with the community. So, and thanks everyone from the community for joining, for asking those questions. This is how we're going to build like a better Decentraland, a better community. So I don't know if Jamel, Kim, anyone from the product team wants to add something, but if not, I believe we can give a closure to this meeting. And remember that these sessions happen every 7 weeks in coordination with the shape up cycles that the foundation has implemented. So, and I wanted to remind you all again that there are other ways to reach out to the foundation, to ask questions, uh, to ask for support. So, yep. Okay, we have a question here from Sinful. You want to open your mic?
No, I'm sorry. That was an accident. I was trying to throw up emotes.
No problem, no problem. Okay. Cheddar, you want to jump in?
Yeah, I just have a quick question. I have the same question about the vision for Decentraland, but I would like to know what the vision is for the Decentraland DAO and how can the DAO better support the foundation. It seems like sometimes they're going in two completely different directions, right? Like I think a lot of people in the DAO were not even aware that foundation was working on a client. So what's the vision for the DAO and how can the DAO best support the foundation? Thank you.
Well, I think I can answer that. I mean, we have the strategic planning working group is for that, is to build bridges, to think in terms of vision, of strategy in the long term for the DAO, and then that means also to create new channels and new ways to interact with the foundation, such as we did with the RFI. We are now working in different ways to enhance the platform from the DAO, to coordinate efforts with the foundation for that. So I believe it's more a thing of the DAO organizing itself and participating in those strategic planning meetings and sharing more thoughts on them than something that the foundation has to do. So it's on our end. And if you, this is for all community members. If you haven't joined the strategic planning sessions yet, it's highly recommendable for you to join, to share your thoughts, because that's the place we are actually thinking in the short, in the mid, and in the long term, not only in terms of the DAO, but also in terms of the relationship with the foundation and the role that the DAO has to take and the ownership that the DAO has to take on the platform. So I mean that I believe is the answer. It's more on our end than in the foundation. And I also think that a couple of members of the foundation have joined the strategic planning meetings. I commit myself to invite them again for the next sessions, as well as for the financial planning meetings and everything around that. But yeah, it's 100% on our end as a community to improve that. Jimmy, you want to go?
Yeah, can I add something to that? Yeah, I think how the DAO can help foundation. I think the ambassador program is a good example of an initiative that is co-funded. So we can put some money and some effort in coordinating, but we receive funding from the DAO to support that initiative. And the ambassador program, since we will be connecting with the community, now it's about getting more people in Decentraland. I think it's a good initiative to test that out. Also, in the events, we are now organizing the music festival. We are doing something new that is making an open call for creators and artists, giving a lot more space to different creators. And we want to replicate that kind of way of hosting events along the year, next year, having themes for every month. I think that's another opportunity to also getting funding and getting outreach from the DAO. We can be the organizers there. and we can provide the land, the placement, the marketing, but getting some money from the DAO to give away just as an incentive for the creators participating in that call. We are not keeping the money, just redirecting them to the best creators. I think that's another way we can cooperate and in keeping interesting content and in the platform as well, and giving incentives to the creators. And I think we can also spin up some projects that maybe we don't have the bandwidth, but have some, the idea or the vision of how this can be done, and some ideas of it will be beneficial for Decentraland overall. So maybe we can spin up some of our projects that doesn't fit in our roadmap into the DAO. So that's, I think, how we can cooperate, and I think that's a good point. Then how the DAO organizes itself and gets to have a strategy, and as Fede says, I totally agree with that's about the DAO and how the DAO organize themselves. It's not an easy task. I think it's not an easy task for us, that we're a lot of people, but fortunately, it works more on a ranking, pyramidal scale. It's a more top-down decision-making structure. Doing it in a DAO that is more flat organization, I think is way more harder to be aligned. But fortunately, there are spaces to have that conversation, as Fede mentioned.
Yeah, Chair, I know you want to follow up with these questions. Since we already are over time, I think we can give closure to this meeting and we can follow up in the Discord. Not only in strategic planning, we can also discuss it by DM or what you prefer. So again, in order to let everyone go and get back to what you were doing, we're going to close this meeting. Again, thanking everyone for joining. And we'll keep you posted about new updates, both from Foundation side and from the DAO. And we'll keep you posted about the next All Hands session. So thanks everyone for joining.
Thank you all. Have a nice one.
Thank
Thanks,
you.
everyone.
Bye.
Everyone,
Thanks,
thank
folks.
you.
Bye-bye.